Let's get started. Hi, everybody. We keep taking pictures of you all as we meet via Zoom, waving, just so that I feel like y'all are really out there and still involved. So welcome. This is the, 150th Zoom meeting we've had, it feels like. But I think we might be coming to an end. The day may come when we can all be together again soon. Let's go on and start the meeting. So this is the picture of the last time this is the picture of the last time that we all met together. That was 12 months and a few days ago. This popped up in my Facebook memories. And I got to tell you, I got a little misty. This is what we used to look like. This was February 2020. Terry Rizzo was our speaker. I still had short hair. I haven't had a haircut since about that time. But this is what we used to be, and this is what we will be again soon. Everybody's getting their shots. We have an actual real life president taking care of things. We'll get together again. Let's go on to the next one. I'm Chris Stanley. I'm the president of this club. And this is my penultimate meeting. We're having a little bit of internet troubles with the weather, so hopefully I can stay through the whole thing. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so we had an inauguration, and we watched it together as a group via Zoom, and we broke out into rooms to kind of chat and share our feelings. These are my favorite pictures of the inauguration. I was really struck by the, we're here, we're telling you what we're gonna do, we get sworn in, and we went right to work. The first thing I did was look at the new website and seeing the protections back on the website for LGBTQ, for people of color, for every marginalized group that Trump went after, becoming part of the American experience again. It was wonderful. It was probably the best website browsing I've ever done in my life. And, we're not even a month into Biden's inauguration, but wow, we're getting stuff done. There's a little bit of an impeachment trial going on. I'm sure you all have been glued to it, as have I. It's not gonna likely end with the result that it should end with, or what all real Americans should want it to be, but nonetheless it's going on. I was really struck by our Senator Rick Scott, who called it a waste of time. He just said, oh, this is just such a waste of time. And it occurred to me that Rick Scott probably has presidential aspirations. And it's probably in Rick Scott's best interest to be able to have presidents get away with crimes. Lord knows he's gotten away with enough, and he was still governor twice and now senator. And so I think he has some ulterior motives there. I went through the list of the ones of the Republican senators who they think might vote properly, and it's a really, really short list. Nonetheless, we will keep watching, and we will keep holding people accountable, because this is America. At the end of the day, this is of course not the real ballot, but they're going to vote, and they're either going to vote that he's guilty due to overwhelming evidence, or they're going to vote he's innocent because they want to keep their seats in office. And that's what it's going to come down to. And it'll be another really, really sad day in American history. But we're going to move past this because we're governing. We are solving problems. We are working for the betterment of the country, and we're not going to get bogged down in stuff like this. Okay, so this is just a reminder. Sometimes in the slides we have information that'll be very helpful. There'll be a phone number or a website. Have your phone at the ready so you can take a picture of the slide. We do videotape this, and Mike Conifee is our hero and has been for years. He puts it all together and he gets it out really quite quickly. But take a picture of the slide if you need information immediately. Okay, so because we haven't met for a year, but our membership continues to grow, thank you guys, we have a whole bunch of name badges that haven't been picked up. And we try to hand them out through the office during election cycle, but not everybody is comfortable coming into the office, and I get that. It's going to be prohibitively expensive to mail them to all. And so what we've done is we've broken them down into precincts. I have my precinct and I will be hand delivering them. When I say hand delivering, I mean I put them in a plastic bag and hang them on your doorknob. I'm not knocking on your door and I'm not ringing your bell. So if you don't have your name badge and you're expecting one, check your front door from time to time. I need some help getting these out. Some of the precinct captains have very kindly stepped forward and said they would take care of their precincts, but we have some precincts that are not captain. So on a nice day when you feel like a golf cart ride any time of the next week or two, let me know. Most of them are about 20, 25. You don't have to do them all in one day, although they're all in the same precinct, so they're not far apart. We could use some help. We need to get those name badges out to people because the day will come when we are going to all be together again. And it's a lot easier to be able to get you into the meeting room if you have your name badge with the 21 on it, indicating that your membership is paid up. So call me, email me, offer to help, and we can get this job done together as well. Next. Okay, we have Ryan Morales here who's going to make an announcement, and I don't want to step on his toes. I want to tell you, though, that Ryan ran for Florida House 32 in 2020. That's right next door to us, part of Lake County. And okay, so I have a chat. Chris, I'll be happy to help with the badges, but it's from user. So I don't know who the name is. Go ahead and email me or call me after this, but thank you for offering. Ryan ran for Florida House 32, and that's Lake County, ultimately unsuccessful, but he has an announcement to make. So let's get Ryan on.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Chris, for getting me on here. This is a pleasure, especially with the villages being so important in this key state of Florida. 2022 is going to be a huge election. We have a governor seat up for grabs. We have our, pretty much chief financial officer, the attorney general, the Florida agriculture commissioner, and the senatorial spot. So there's going to be some key people moving around and going after different seats. And after discussing this very well with Nikki Fried herself, I decided to make this run, and I will be running to defend Nikki's seat as the Florida Commissioner of Agricultural and Consumer Services. We plan on actually continuing the great work that Ms. Nikki Fried has done for the state of Florida and really focusing on hammering some things down because we need to overcome this COVID-19 pandemic. And in order to overcome this pandemic, I truly believe that the legalization of cannabis is going to be super important as a way for us to recover tax money that we could use to help the country and help our people in the area succeed. Another big portion of the job actually entails marketing, and that's one of my best skills. I am a huge marketing person, and I plan on using my skills there to really help emphasize the Florida Fresh marketing campaign, as well as any of the Florida campaigns that we need to run for agricultural purposes, for consumer safety purposes, And really, we need to focus on communication with the people of Florida much better. We need to really be more involved in making sure that these people are healthy, that they're fine, that they're mentally okay. We do have people that live in some very rural areas that really need to be touched and need to be talked to make sure that they're all okay. So again, my name's Ryan Morales. I'm running for Florida Agricultural Commissioner. Everything goes live on Tuesdays. So the website, all the press releases, all that fun stuff will come out on Tuesday after the President's Day vacation. We look forward to really working with all of you, and we're going to be looking for volunteers and donations and stuff like that to help make this campaign positive and move forward. We'll be working very closely with the current administration there to continue to make sure that we're doing what they were set out to do and focusing on how to make things better for everybody. So really our big focus is just defending Nikki's seat and continuing the work and doing everything much better than we currently have. Plus, we also need to include more cybersecurity protections for the state of Florida, which is going to be a big deal moving forward, especially with, this issue of people not believing elections are safe or any of that. So I want to make sure that we protect everybody and we move forward from these falsehoods that we're dealing with currently. So I thank you, Chris. I thank you for everybody here in the villages, and I look forward to seeing you all throughout this awesome election. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan. I don't know if I've ever actually met Ryan in person because we've been on lockdown for so long, but we've been Facebook friends, and that counts just the same as being real friends. He's a great guy to follow. He's got great information. I would strongly urge you, if you have a Facebook, to look up so this is Black History Month, and I find myself with a great deal of extra time on my hands. And those of you who know me know that dangerous things happen when I have extra time on my hands. So instead of creating projects for myself and doing crazy things, I started looking up Black history movies and Black made movies, and Netflix has quite an assortment for this month. So I'm going to give you my suggestions for a day like today where you might just want to sit on Netflix and watch some movies. The 13th is one of the best movies that I have ever seen. 13th. Second one, Fruitvale Station. That one, you may remember the case. It's about a guy named Oscar Grant, who was a Black man murdered by a BART cop in 2009. And it's considered to be perhaps the first spark of the Black Lives Matters movement. Really well done movie. And of course, Loving, which is the case that ended or that's the case that allowed for interracial couples to be able to marry. Also really, really good movie. So let's support our Black friends, neighbors, and Black movies. There's stories to be told, and we need to hear them, and we need to share them. There's a Soul Food Fest Saturday, February 27th. This is our friend Beverly Steele, she does the tours in Royal. This one is supporting the young performing artists. That is her 501c3 that does really amazing things in Sumter County outside the villages, specifically for Royal. The location is yet to be determined. If there's a way for you to attend and support this, it would be great if you could. She always puts on a good time. So check this one out. Okay, so it's that time of the year again when we get a new club board. This month we introduce you to the people who have stepped forward, and next month we will vote on them. Replacing me as president will be Mike Falk. Mike, actually, you all would have got to know him if we were meeting like normal. He's been vice president of operations for a year and a half now. and he's been an enormous help to me. He worked really hard on figuring out how we were going to be able to stream from our live meetings to other places. Until then, we got shut down. He's going to be the new president. I couldn't be more excited. He is going to be terrific. Amy Jenkins, who some of you know, she has been precinct captain extraordinaire in Lake County, is stepping up to be vice president of programming. Those of you who don't know her yet, you're in for a treat. You're going to love her. She's great. Membership replacing Lydia Bush is actually 2 people. It takes 2 people to replace Lydia Bush. Sue Blaylock, who's actually been around for a while, but again behind the scenes, and Linda Sherrod will be taking over membership and hospitality and all the social stuff that generally goes with that we haven't been able to do. Dennis Foley, who has been writing our newsletter, The Neighborhood Buzz, is going to continue with that, but he's also going to take over from Michelle Lupowitz's secretary. And Shirley Shanson, I got to tell you, I really love that picture, will be taking over as vice president of communications from Brian Casey, who's stepping down. This is going to be a great board. This is going to be something. Shirley, you're right. Your name is spelled wrong. I apologize. This is going to be a great board. This is going to be a working board, and the club is going to continue to grow and thrive under their leadership. I'm very excited about this. And this is Biden's first 3 days. We actually pulled up a list of everything that he's accomplished from the 20th to when he got to last night. And it's a huge list. It's a huge list. I got very tired writing it down. And so instead of going through absolutely everything, I have just a couple of highlights for me here. The big one, we rejoined the Paris Agreement. We ended the Muslim ban. People in federal property now must wear a mask in order not to spread COVID. Who would have ever thought? Ban discrimination on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation. Basic civil rights has returned to America. Mandating an ethics pledge. This is just a small portion of what he got done, but it's so good to see forward movement in our government instead of just regressive hate. And it's good to be America again. Biden is America-ing right. Okay, COVID. So in the chat, if you guys would be so kind, give me a 1 if you've had your first shot, give me a 2 if you've had your second shot, and give me a 3 if you have not yet had your shot at all. All right, we're getting there. Okay. All right, we're getting there. Because we have a real live president now, and because now we have enough shots to be able to vaccinate actually the whole country, things are going to be speeding up. I've been saying I thought it would probably be the end of the summer before I was eligible. I'll bet you anything I am going to have my shot by summer. And because ultimately everything is about me, the more of you that get your shots, the safer I am until I can get mine. Everyone's favorite game show, Truth or Trump. So I see this being tossed back at me fairly frequently. Oh my God, Biden's president and the price of gas is skyrocketing. Have you seen that? Are they throwing that in your face? Thanks, Biden. Next slide. Presidents really have nothing to do with the price of gas. It's fun for us when gas is $4 a gallon to blame Bush. But in the great scheme of things, presidents have very, very little direct influence over the price of gas. The prices went down because we weren't driving for months. Now that we have a real president and a plan, and people are getting vaccinated, and it's going to be safe to go out again, demand will increase. They call this supply and demand when they're in control. When we're in control, I imagine they call it socialism or fascism or communism, because they use those all interchangeably. So when someone tells you, oh, Biden's making the gas prices go up, tell them they don't know what they're talking about. Or better yet, I'm bored, call me, I'll tell them. But Amanda Gorman is just, that poem at the inauguration, I have probably watched 550 times. Let's see, we'll watch that. If y'all want to hang out and chat for a few minutes, stay on after the video. Let's watch Amanda.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So While once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Oh, here we go. Okay, Louis, when will online person or online or in-person meetings start? I don't know. As soon as the multitude of people have had their second shot and there's no more surprises about new variants coming in, then the board will talk about it. Follow Rebecca Jones's Twitter, Sue. She is pretty active still on it. She, as you may have heard, Rebecca Jones was arrested, and she bonded out. This is one of the worst political retribution schemes I have ever seen. Follow her on Twitter. She's very candid and she's very frank, and we'll get through there. I will see you in person soon. I'm going to hug you. It will be weird. There will be long, creepy hugs, but soon we will be together. Hang in there. Then we can be gone until next month. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in a month. Get ready for the weird hugs.